Hey there YouTube, Travis here, and this is my Lawnboy mower. Now, if you've seen my other videos, it's no secret, I love two-stroke mopeds, I love two-stroke engines, and so it was only a matter of time before I got my hands on one of these nice Lawnboy two-stroke mowers. We'll go ahead and go over a little bit about this particular model of lawnmower, and then this exact one, kind of oddball specifics about it, and maybe if we have some time, which of course we will, we'll get a little bit of a demo as well. Okay, so a little bit about this mower. This is a Lawnboy L20 ZPRA. I believe it dates from the late 1980s, probably around 1989 from what I've seen online. I'm pretty certain this uses Lawnboy's F-Series engine, which was in production from the late 1970s into the 1990s. It uses electronic ignition, so it's not points and condenser. As far as, Lawnboy collectible mowers are concerned, I'm not sure this is the most desirable, but for me, I was looking for, well, one, a Lawnboy mower that just exists in general. Where I live, there was not a strong Lawnboy dealer network, so we don't see too many of them around here. If I lived in the Midwest United States or on the East Coast, I'd probably have a pretty easy time, but out here in the Pacific Northwest, they seem to be pretty few and far between. So when it came to finding one of these two-stroke mowers, I really wasn't that picky. So digging a little deeper on this specific model, the gentleman I bought it from definitely had a sense of humor. I noticed that he had some pretty funny stickers on here, kind of relating to the two-stroke characteristics of this model. Keeping those for now. But this mower has been through the ringer a little bit. Obviously, if you're an expert on these mowers, there's probably a few things that will jump out at you. I mean, for me, this is obviously not the original primer bulb. I believe that would have been recessed. This does function though. These wheels, I do not believe are original Lawnboy wheels. At least I haven't seen any. The wheels are usually white, so these possibly came off of something a little bit newer. And for those who have a real keen eye, well, this white I do not believe was part of the original color scheme. In fact, I believe that this is actually hiding some repairs. It's pretty obvious. You can see here there's a bunch of rivets, so I think that this deck either rusted or became damaged and was probably reattached, pounded back into place, covered with Bondo. I'm not really sure, but the repair seems to be holding, so I'm going to run with it. When you're 20 feet away, it really doesn't look that bad. And for what I paid for this mower, which was the princely sum of $50, and it ran pretty good, not complaining. Again, these are quite hard to come by out here where I live, so it was nice to find one at all. And that's really all that I have to say at this moment about the Lawnboy. We can go ahead and fire it up, do some mowing, and we'll talk a little bit about what it's like to actually mow with this mower. Right, so we're off. Now, what's it like to actually mow with one of these? Well, here's what I really like about it. It genuinely cuts well. It cuts nice and evenly. I find the mower has plenty of power. I haven't actually gotten it bogged down yet, even when I go through some pretty thick grass. So from a functionality standpoint, it's excellent. I also like how the mower is pretty lightweight. Two-stroke engines, the actual physical weight of the engine is less than its four-stroke rival. So those are all the things I like about the mower. It is worth talking about some of the drawbacks to it though. I knew all of this when I got into it, but it's just something I wanted to highlight. None of this is, enough for me to not want to use the mower. I will say though, when you mow, walking behind it is kind of like walking behind a moped ride. You definitely have two-stroke fumes being blown in your face the entire time you're mowing your lawn. It's a two-stroke mower, and I bought it because it's a, that's what it is, and I'm a hobbyist, and I appreciate it. It's also worth pointing out, I think this is probably mostly the fault of this specific mower and the neglect and replacement parts that it's been adorned with. There have been some quality issues with this. Again, I know these wheels are aftermarket, so I'm not going to fault Lawnboy for this, but I've had some issues there. And then additionally, it has been a little hard starting. Again, that's not a factory primer bulb, so I'm not really going to ding Lawnboy on this, just my exact experience with this specific mower, knowing that this thing has been cobbled back together a couple of times. All right, so we're in the garage now. We've mowed our lawn. I think something probably on a lot of people's minds, given that this is primarily a moped-related channel, is what modifications can we do to this thing? Is it time to break out the bi-turbo exhaust, or possibly a 8-pedal reed block and 20mm carburetor? Port the cylinder for higher revs? Well, you might be able to port the cylinder, but most mods won't work on a Lawnboy. You know, the way that the exhaust comes out of the engine, there's not really anything you can do. If you took the blade off, you could, but this is a functional piece of machinery for me. So no mods for this Lawnboy. I will say, you know, I could probably pretty easily get my lawn mowed with like a modern electric mower, but for me as a hobbyist, this thing's an oddity. I like it a lot. If you happen to find one for sale in your area, hey, it's a great lawnmower, and for me, I'm going to preserve and maintain it for as long as I can. All right there, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time.